Son Braden McMahon, he can never deny me. He's just like me. Interesting fact, he was 6 years old when he started playing the banjo. Guess when he started growing that beard? One of the most awesome banjo players. God has gifted him with such a talent to play the banjo, and I love getting to play with him each and every week. And then this guy came 2 years ago. And the interesting thing about him, we had made a CD about 5 years before, right? So about 8 years ago, we made this CD. Some of you may have it. Billy Red? Anybody got that one? We took them off the market, but they're in the safe now. But we needed a mandolin player. We didn't have one at the time, and so the guy at the studio said, "I know a young kid in Nashville that'll play." So he, of course, he sent it over. We never met. He played on that CD. And then we were at the IBMA convention, and here comes this strapping young man up, and I'm Corey Pyatt. And so from that we made a friendship, and the Lord worked it out 2 years ago where he accepted and moved to the farm, the Mater farm there, and he lives with us there in the little cabin. And he is, I can't tell you what an awesome addition he was to Mountain Faith. And call him the Energizer Bunny. Because he's like this all the time, just bouncing around, bubbling over with joy. But play just a bluegrass one. This is something bluegrass.
You want to do that one? A lot of tuning involved.
Good. You want to do it now?
All right.
Well, it's also bluegrass. So, this song we're going to try for you guys is an old-time fiddle song. And I don't have an idea how they named it, but it's actually called Whiskey Before Breakfast. It's not something we practice. Oh, do you want to know? Yeah. Okay, never mind. Never mind, we don't do that.
So if we start messing up, it's...
Okay, well this song is actually, we're going to start with an Irish song. We're going to do a medley of tunes for you guys. This first one's an Irish song that was written by a great Irish whistle player by the name of Brian Finnegan. The second tune is actually a Chris Daly bluegrass tune called Hop the Fence. That's right. 1, 2, 3. There was one time when we were playing a show, and it was the last song of the night. The last song. This big, extravagant ending that was supposed to just leave people on a really high note. And Braden ended it, and he didn't, he hit like one wrong note and didn't finish the song. So it was just like, we kind of stopped short, and it was the funniest thing.
I a lot.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Just like I played that song a million times.
Oh, it was so funny.
And the worst thing is being one fret off. I mean, if you go 5 or 6, you might land on a harmony note. It's never one fret.
That's good.
Teach you more right there. I did that on purpose.
Yes, exactly. There's a lesson. Yeah, that's Braden McMahon, y'all. He's incredible. Really, it is an honor for me to get to be here with you guys. This is an incredible club you all have here. Incredible culture of just positivity and growth. And I love the four-way test. That's incredible. I think that's something that society as a whole needs more of. And I'm gonna take a second and do a little brief testimony of my life and how I came to be a part of this band. I was 7 years old when I started playing, and I was about 12 years old when I started horrifying my parents at the idea of becoming a professional musician. And no, I'm kidding, but they've always been incredibly supportive, but they were very, very hesitant at the thought of me becoming a professional musician. It was something that I've always been incredibly passionate about since I started. And they just wanted to make sure that I had a plan and sometimes a backup plan, and which is a good thing. And I was very neglected to have more of a backup plan. I always just wanted to play the mandolin, and I was so set on that in my mind. I practiced all the time. I used to play 8 to 10 hours a day with that in mind, and it was easy because it was all I really liked to do, and it was my life at the time, and so I was very, very passionate about it. And gosh, let's see here. I met these guys, as he was saying, I met them on a CD project. I was about 14 years old, and didn't know, I wasn't a believer at the time. I wasn't a Christian at the time, and I was just, as I said, my idol was the mandolin. So I was very, very lost in that. And I was in a depressing time in my life. I had worked very hard for this career that I had hoped to have one day and hadn't seen any growth in that way. I'd had little incremental successes along the journey, but nothing that was sustainable as a career for me. And so I worked really, really hard, and it was depressing whenever I didn't hit that mark. And so I at one point met God. God had placed certain people in my lives, and I'm very thankful for that, who were good influences, who pointed me in the right direction. As I can see, you have a tremendous community of people and good examples in this room here. God had very much placed a lot of people in my life through different bands and influences that pointed me in His direction. I was just too stubborn to listen at many times. And so at that low point in my life where I didn't see my career going anywhere and I was having difficulty in relationships, I found God, met God, and best day of my life. And I came to know Christ, and there's this verse in Matthew that's Matthew 16:25 that says, "All who lose their life for my sake will find it." And I never understood what that meant. And I actually got the call several months after I'd been saved. I got the call from Sylva, North Carolina to come join this group. And at the time, honestly, I really didn't have any intention of staying. I didn't see this as a sustainable, and I've told some of the guys, I wasn't sure. I wasn't, and honestly, it's very sad to say, but I was more or less just looking for work. As I said, I had been trying to pursue a career that hadn't really taken me anywhere. And so I joined these guys, and always have been passionate about working towards these things. And so I found a group of people who had incredible work ethics. If any of you know Sam or his family, they are a tremendous example of what work ethic is. And so I've learned a lot from that, and a lot from them in that regard. But all that to be said, I came here with the intention of finding a career, and instead God used them as a I should say, I don't know if template would be the right word, but I learned that it wasn't about that anymore. It's more about how can we serve others with our music. And see, when I came to the farm, still don't really know what a mater is, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. But when I came to the farm, Sam always used to say, whenever we'd get together for practice, he always used to say, my goal with our show is when people come see our concert, if they're dealing with something, if they're having an issue in their life, maybe we can encourage them. Maybe we can make them forget about their problems for that hour and a half period of time that we have with them. And they can leave walking away stronger and feeling like they can go out and take on that challenge, whatever it may be. And that was such a different paradigm than what I had been raised on. I always just wanted to be the best mandolin player I could be. And now God gave us this incredible outlet with people of like mind and unity under that idea of trying to serve others through our music. And that was an incredible revelation. And there's a verse in 1 Peter that says, each of you is to use the gift that you received to serve others. And that right there was it for me. That was our mission, I think, from that point on. And I'm very thankful because it's a much happier existence when you live for other people. And I'm standing here today as a living testament that we serve a living God who is very much at work in society today. So that's about it for me.
Quick stories. I know we've got to all go back to work. Mickey's probably wondering where I'm at too. Two quick things that come from America that totally changed. I mean, an old country boy spending my first trip to New York City was to play at Radio City. That's the first time I'd ever been there. They put me up on like the 37th floor there at the Manhattan, and I'm totally overwhelmed. Two quick stories. The first one, a General Sauce. He said he never watched TV, and for some reason he came in tired that Tuesday night, just hit the remote. It was on NBC, it was starting our B-roll. And he immediately grabbed the computer and started searching Mountain Faith Band. And from that, when we came off of TV a week later, we got to fly to Al Udeid Air Force Base in Qatar and play 7 days to some of the most awesome men and women that there is in the world today, our soldiers over there, and it totally changed our life. What Phil said a while ago, I've always had just a real general prayer, Lord, watch the troops, bring them back home. But man, when I got there and landed, and we started seeing the imminent danger that they're in, it totally changed my prayer life. It totally changed my perspective on our soldiers. I mean, those guys, they lined up 3,500, I think, or something. I forget how many people. 3.5 hours we stood there shaking hands with them. And every one of them would come up and say, we knew what we were signing. We knew we were signing to potentially give our lives for our country. And as we stood there and thanked them, our lives totally changed because they were away from family. They were away from friends. They were away from everything that we take for granted. They're over there fighting to keep the fight over there so that we can stay free over here. And so our lives were radically changed by that visit. And we've written a song that's going to be released probably in the next 2 weeks of that experience. It's called Freedom, Faith, and Family. It's the three things that we took away from there. And so you'll be able to find out on our Facebook page. But that was one of the most awesome things. I think that trumped everything that we did on TV, was when we landed over there and we drove onto that base and saw those guys and started getting to associate with them. Just wonderful, wonderful soldiers. So I became very pro-military. I was, but I really am now. So I don't want anybody talking down our military because I'm very much for them. So God bless you veterans who you fought so that we can have these freedoms. They're trying to keep our freedoms now.
Sam, where was it y'all went?
Al Udeid Air Force Base in Qatar. we have a local boy who left right after we got back, Cameron Buchanan, Buddy Buchanan's boy. I think he's just finishing up his term there. Some of those guys would go in 130 degrees into those planes. I mean, unbelievable the heat that they had to deal with, and they're just wonderful, wonderful guys. So that was one story. The second story, I said we prayed that we could reach young people, and from all of this, the people that we've met, we now, Summer and Sandra, are visiting today. We have the potential, and it's just the potential, so it's something that you can say a prayer for, that we may be able to get into a national literacy campaign of where we encourage as a band, I'll see if I can explain this the right way, like Summer would go in a month before it into a school, either by computer or go in personally visit, and challenge the kids in writing poems that we can turn into songs. And so it would be a challenge in the importance of writing poems. So it would be a literacy type program where we can go all over the country and challenge them to write, and then we would come in a month later and do a concert and pick one of whoever the winner of that poem is and make it into a song and sing it that night. And then at the end of the school year, of course, they would be put into a pool, and we would pick one of those to put on a Mountain Face CD. Wow. And that's the potential that come from America's Got Talent, and being able to have those kids like our music enough. And all we had to have was just a little snare drum. We just added that to it. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's amazing how all of that stuff was orchestrated, and it turned out. So that's a real potential that we have of being able to change kids' life and affect them positively in that direction. And so it's just amazing what this past year has did for us. I was away from the store 48 days, and it didn't go under. So I think we're going to survive now. And I don't know if you've heard the news, but now my brother Mickey, who's been a well-known pianist for many years, he's now joining the band. And so now we have a piano and so the next time you see us, you'll get to see Mickey on the keyboards with us. But that's exciting news as well. I know you've got to go. Thank you so much for letting us just come and share. We are so passionate about our music. I love that I get to do this with my family. And Summer and Sandra definitely sent their regards. They would love to have been here. But just say a prayer about that. I hope it works out, because it has potential. There's a football player that's very interested in it, an NFL player that's interested in making it all happen, and they're setting up all that meetings and stuff down there today. So say a prayer about that. All right, so our niche has always been to take different kinds of music. Braden's an old rocker. I mean, any old rock song that's from my genre, he loves. I don't understand that. I mean, he'll start playing these songs, and it's songs that I listened to as a kid. Corey and Braden as well, they like classical music too. And so just to show you how diverse we are, Corey will introduce this one, then we'll let you go today.
Yeah, so this next one we're going to do real quick for you is written on, or for cello, by a man, up-and-coming composer by the name of Johann Sebastian Bach. No, man, we love him to death. He's incredible, and I've had the opportunity over the last couple of years to study a lot of his music, and this one in particular lends itself really well to our instruments. And we didn't have a cello, so no. Yes, so this is Bach's Cello Suite in G major. We're going to do part of the prelude for you guys.
And any mess ups are on purpose.
Harmony notes, right?
A few times where I fell off the wagon on this one. Are you ready?
1, 2. Bye.